Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where I'm never not going to be excited to introduce to you the player rated #1 in the world by Dark. The final boss. It's Dark. Something of a villain in StarCraft 2. But when you have a villain, you need a hero. In the top left, in the blue, the #1 Protoss in Korea. It's here. A best of 3 PvZ, but I don't think Protoss versus Zerg quite describes the emotional turmoil these two put each other through, which is a lot closer to marriage counseling than it is the StarCraft 2 meta. So if you like watching two players have a simultaneous mental breakdown for our enjoyment, well then hopefully you'll like this video. And Jimmy, what are we? 1,243 likes on this experience, on this video. And I'll cast another series, and statistically likely to be herO versus Dark, but we're here for it, just like Dark is here, blocking herO's natural, which I assume is revenge for blocking his own natural. But at the end of the day, Dark will be expanding to both naturals. So, who gets the last laugh here? herO is cannon rushing. So, the plot thickens, as does the block of cheese. Okay, so it's a proxy hatch versus cannon rush. He sees the forge. Like, clearly herO is actually thinking about doing this. The probe, blocked out by the drones. The pool is about to finish. The forge might be, for aesthetic purposes only by the end of this. No, the creep hasn't quite spread yet. Here comes a zealot, by the way. Oh, but the drone, citizen's arrest! He gets one cannon. It doesn't work out. He has to, well, huh. Now there's a pylon. Wait, the probe. It followed me home. Can I keep? Oh, the Zerglings come out. The probe. Now there's an adept. He's actually targeting the larva. Dark makes overlords. He makes 2 over. He's actually supply blocked, which is kind of a horrible time to be supply blocked. herO getting remarkably distracted by this larva. The action starts early, but it appears we're gonna have to calm down. I think it's gonna even out. As herO's going to get his natural, Dark has established his own. Is there a queen in the main? It's popping out now. Against just the slow Zerglings, the adepts can still have the run of the place, throwing mad shade. But at the end, well, nope, he's not done. Here we go. We're going to keep going. The drones are pulled. I think that's mostly it, actually. He's going to lose 4 of them for the adepts. And that's about 1/5 of Dark's economy, so maybe worth it. Will he send in another adept? The pylon still isn't dead, by the way. A testament to the shenanigans that have happened thus far. Dark has 14 lings. herO doesn't have particularly many workers. This wall-off is, certainly original. The zealot hanging out by the overlord. Yeah, I totally meant it like this. Zealot turns the right way. Not that that necessarily matters, but herO needs all the help he can get when it comes to walling off. There's no cannon. That's actually, well, 2 Zerglings can attack the Zealot. Can he put another pylon behind that? Does he need to? Is that... No, you got it. herO? Okay, he barely had the minerals. Unfortunately, that pylon here, the adept shaded right into the Zergling surround, which is subpar. And another adept... Does he? He's waiting for him to cancel the gate. No, that you're not getting in. You can never be sure with herO. Maybe you will somehow. The Overlord wanders through, and despite both players' attempts to, at some point, pull back into what resembles a normal game, neither player has been capable of doing so. As 5 minutes in, Dark is just now taking his third. herO still has a very cumbersome wall-off to manipulate or to maneuver around here. He's actually walled off both sides of the base of that pylon. I don't know about that. All just a suggestion for herO. The Oracle comes in, does its obligatory... well, Dark tries to get in position. He actually deals with it. He went through the stasis ward while it was building, but still not quite enough. And don't come back! Sir or ma'am, or I don't, you know, it doesn't matter. Brenda, be sensitive. Okay, what? Sorry. Zerglings? There's still enough Zerglings. Actually, he built some more lings. How many lings have died? 10 lings, so not that many more. 4 adepts are still a threatening number. If he can catch them, the Oracle will escort them. Could recall out the second Oracle or the first Oracle. It really depends on how you count the Oracles. But the Oracle at the back. Doesn't really matter which order they were in. God, herO versus Dark has me melting my brain. And we're 6 minutes in. And we're headed back towards a more standard feel to this game. The standard mouthfeel of Protoss versus Zerg. Which is really only for the Zerg, because the Protoss don't have mouths. Or nearly this weird. But Blink, +1. Usually, the Protoss is going for a third and picking their Twilight Council tech out, where the Zerg is solidifying their third, thinking about a fourth base, and then debating whether they're going to do some sort of big all-in. Like Ravager Ling Bane, maybe pull the Queens, something like that. And if they don't decide on it, we get to figure out what their tech's going to look like. And... wait, what about... There's another one pinned back. One Oracle now very permanently damaged. Unless there are some rogue SCVs that herO can hire. There's no way to repair it. Which seems like pretty sad, though somewhat lore accurate. Now, Dark. Yeah, I've been... I hope it's helpful, but making an effort to kind of describe things that I would consider kind of obvious, or I guess... that you get a feel for after many games of casting, like why we're taking a third at this time, or why we're opening up with adepts, but we're not building them later kind of stuff. But herO versus Dark throws all that conventional wisdom into the fire. And from the they drink the ashes like a protein shake, and then take all their clothes off and start dancing around, and then sit down at their computers and play the series or something like that. I assume something like that is what happens between every Dark versus herO series. Though they're no longer on the same team. This was played before Dark was signed by his new team. By the way, Dark will be playing throughout all of 2023. We weren't sure if I Am Katowice would be his last tournament. No. He will terrorize herO throughout the year, though it will likely be his last year. He was able to defer his military service for one more year. On that fun note, the Blink Stalkers have arrived. Unrelated. Overlord. He knocks down the Observer here, but the Stalker count is still dangerous enough. Stasis catches the Zerglings looking to flank. There's more Stasis at the back. herO holding a pretty comfortable position between a rock and a hard place here for Dark, who's rushing Hive. Getting a Hive before 10 minutes after this tumultuous early game is certainly quite an accomplishment. Right now, herO knocking at the door. Dark spraying out corrosive bio right now. Meanwhile, the Zerg... oh my god. And they keep going. The Stasis. And he lights up the Oracle and get out. Though I think lighting up the Oracles was maybe a bit premature there. The Warp Prism went somewhere. Charge isn't done, but it's about to be, and the Zealots warped in are definitely a threat to the third base here. Dark, gotta find a way to keep it together. herO, the Zerglings coming out of stasis, trying to run by the Stalkers. Oracle's chasing down the Ravagers. The Queens are all stuck in the main here. Meanwhile, the Spore Crawler's actually killing an Oracle that ran out of energy. The other Oracles are permanently damaged. herO killed the fourth base. 4 drones down, so Dark is actually at a 4 drone deficit as herO takes his 4. Overall, Dark in a very uncomfortable position where he has less economy, he has mediocre upgrades. About to get +2 melee, that's something, but herO already has his +2 done himself. So, and with charge lots and Blink Stalkers, and still the very reluctant Oracles hanging out, it's going to be very difficult for Dark to do any sort of meaningful attack that herO won't be prepared for. So the Infestors are on the way. Infestors can hold down and keep the Blink Stalkers from, well, blinking and do some damage. It's only 25 damage nowadays. So not particularly much, but the lack of ability to blink is what makes all the difference in some of these fights. War Prism zoned out by the Queens. The Hatchery Owners Association, or HOA, does not look kindly upon Protoss around the neighborhood. So, you know, they're not alone in that. Oracle comes in. That was... The Oracles are just doing their own thing this game. The Stasis are great, but... Well, I guess he sees the Hive now. The Hive tech is a couple Vipers and Adrenal Glands. Still a dangerous combo, but Dark can't really afford anything else. He's actually got a massive army for someone with 65 drones. 74 Zerglings, you're making more. Baneling Nest, +3 melee attack out the way. But here comes herO. Trying to keep the pressure on Dark, but he might be walking into the heart of the swarm here. And... Fungal thrown out directly on top of the Stalkers. herO not even acknowledging the Corrosive Bile. Another Fungal. And a lot of damage already done. herO really not respecting the Infestors here. Dark trying to force him to learn some. And indeed, with Adrenal Glands about to finish, even without it. herO, what the hell was this? To say that was a failure would be an understatement. I don't know what he expected to accomplish. Parasitic Bomb will finally finish off the saddest Oracle of the business. herO just walked up and Dark said, "Thank you, I'll have another." As that was an utter failure. Dark killed over twice the minerals and 3 times the gas. He lost 3 Infestors and 88 Zerglings. But killing Archons, the Prism died somewhere in there. The Immortals... herO just fell asleep at the wheel, it seems. There was no counterattack, no other damage happening. Nothing to distract him. Just kind of like a slow-moving train being derailed. Well, that puts us in a much weirder position, as herO still has the economy, the upgrades, and the unit composition. But Dark has the fact he's not dead, which is always a dangerous one. herO, I'm thinking back not too long ago to herO versus StarCraft, where herO's reflex to just sit back and let the Zerg go. I think he was fighting against that when he attacked there. But we're going to have to go back to the drawing board on it. Because now we got a game. A game that, if herO played his cards a little bit better, might not still be here. But then again, it wouldn't be Dark versus herO if we didn't have at least several of those moments. Well, Dark now solidifying his Hive tech with Lurkers. It isn't that Dark is in a winning position now. Even though he's got more supply. Brenda, come back! Where are you going? Alright. Even though he's got more supply, Dark still wasn't able to go across the map and deal with herO's economy. herO still has more probes. He was able to rebuild a disruptor-based unit composition. There's 4 Vipers on the field. So Dark going into Lurker Viper is still... He's trying to force herO into that carrier phase. Because eventually, the vast majority of the time, there are some exceptions to this, the mass Lurker composition is nearly unbeatable on the ground. Now, some Protoss like Raynor and actually Hearthstone have shown us the Immortal Archon can be strong enough to take it down. But I still think it's a lot more reliable to be going carriers before the Lurker count gets into double digits. Otherwise, it comes down to a lot of pinpoint micro that right now seems a bit risky for herO. Well, Parasitic Bomb on a Warp Prism. Always an awkward one. It takes 2 of them. But Dark, well, I guess unless you fly into the Queen. Super dead. Meanwhile, most of the army and the Queen's down to the south side, which means herO going to swing up north. And there's really not that much here. Sprays out some Corrosive Bile. The Disruptors are in tow. No Storm. The Stalker's moving forward, giving Dark time to reposition. But at the same time, well, yeah, herO. The Disruptors haven't found a shot yet, and Dark yanking 1, 2. 1 will land, but the rest will get pulled into the Roach Ravager. A Colossus, yes, that is real. Going to chase things down. The corrosive biles are not enough. herO still has more than enough Archons and Stalkers. He can focus on the disruptors, but the damage output of this 3-3 Protoss army should not be underestimated. Going to need more energy. 25 Hydras in production. Not a single lurker on the field. I don't think he had any Hydras when the lurker den finished. Feedback pops a queen. Disruptor shots. Get a couple more. Archons, Banelings rolling in from the back, looking for a target. Finding nothing particularly juicy, but they'll find something overall. Meanwhile, Blinding Cloud yanks in the Colossus. Nobody can really see anything right now. The drones are pulled off the line. The Broodlings will join them because the hatchery just kind of incidentally died. Just cleaning up the creep tumors, which is taking a surprising amount of time for this army. There were a lot of creep tumors there. So after that fight, their lurkers now on the way. How? Well, herO killed a lot more this time around. At least in minerals. He got so many of the roaches and ravagers. 10 hydras, 4 queens, 57 zerglings. He lost 5 disruptors, a colossus, an immortal, 5 archon. It's just a mess. It's a mess. Or the more technical term that we as casters like to use, which is clusterfuck. That's what this is. Here we are. As neither player able to find a decisive fight. Dark still playing defense. He hasn't been able to really regain any... He hasn't had momentum since he dropped a hatchery in herO's natural. Honestly, once herO dealt with it and walled off, it's been herO's initiative for, well, the 15 minutes since then. So once again, Immortals, Archons, Templar, this time with Storm. Kind of a key. I think he thought he had Storm going into that last fight. He had several Templar just hanging out. More lurkers on the way, 8 of them, 7 more in production. We're hitting that double digits I talked about. But the Vipers, one of them gets picked off. They yanked at a couple Archons, but not much else thus far. Both speed and range for lurkers completed. The Immortals looking for an opportunity. One of them finding it, but maybe a little too closely. Meanwhile, Dark's still really struggling with the sheer strength of this army. It looks like he's picking it apart. But he did lose 12 drones throughout this. I'm not sure if they were to just incidental fire or if some zealots slipped in somewhere. Dark definitely killed off more. The Viper's paying off, but herO's kind of playing like the Zerg now. Just throwing away units in order to gain some position on the map. The creep is pushed all the way back. Dark loves to be aggressive with the lurkers, but herO has not given him an opportunity to move out at all. If you look at the banks, herO actually has more. And now some storms. The lurkers being softened up here. More of them pushing forward. But against the storm, it's difficult. More zerglings at the back. Going to surround the army. A disruptor just obliterated there. And herO will eventually get surrounded and crushed. And now this is Dark's opportunity. He's been playing defense for what seems like the entire game. But now the lurkers are ready and headed across the map. The disruptors at point-blank range. The lurkers just kind of scrambling. Most of them survived the disruptor fire, but the zealots on the other side. There weren't that many units in production because Dark won the fight so decisively. He doesn't have that many reinforcements to deal with the zealots as they come towards his hatcheries. So he's actually suffering a little from success here. And the zealots are finding a lot of damage. They'll kill another base. Some lurkers will burrow. He yanks a disruptor over the top. The Templar just wandering into the fray, queued up onto the feedback there on the Viper. And without the Vipers, the disruptors will eventually chip away at this. But they're not doing enough damage to really dislodge it in a timely manner. 26 probes dead. That has to be... Are they all here? I guess that includes the probes at the base to the south. Dark still working his way through. But herO really struggling against this unit composition. It has been a bit of a lackadaisical game from the Korean Protoss. And right now, Dark is finally making some progress. He has to be careful. If he doesn't have the lurker, down goes another prism. Just kind of obligatory there. The lurkers are now at the front door, reclaiming his hatchery location, but the disruptors are in position to deal with it. Fires them off, 2 shots, and they die to the lurkers. It's a disaster. But now the observers finally show up. What he can see, he can finally kill. He's lost 60 probes. It's an absolute economic disaster. herO will never financially recover from this. The question will be, can he recover at all? If he can put together a game-ending attack, how does this series, how do these two always end up in this sort of disaster piece? I don't know, but at this point, well, I do care a little bit, but let's pretend I don't, and I'm a apathetic human being like Dark. At least pretends to be. No, Dark is very spiteful. That's not true. Moving on. We'll talk about the emotional makeup of these players later. Right now, we got to talk about 5 Immortals with 332 upgrades, and Lurkers just wandering into them, just imploding at the sight of that many Immortals. And suddenly, herO has the army to beat. The Observers, as long as they don't fly into the Spores, the Lurkers looking surprisingly fragile against this much Protoss firepower. The reinforcements almost non-existent. The Zealots cutting them off out of the hatcheries. herO still has 20. Dark is down. I think herO's winning. I'm like, he recalls 3 bruised Zealots. After all the fire and fury, there's still a lurker in the control. It's just been hanging out. I have no idea. It only has 5 kills, so I guess there weren't that many targets. Oh my god. He kills the pylon that was placed there because the wall was a disaster earlier. Now Dark will turtle up on his last mining base. herO, with his hidden base in the bottom left corner, is still mining. But will it matter, the fact that Dark didn't scout it? Well, now, I don't think so. As the Immortals are closing in, a storm to soften up the lurkers. The concave is good. The drones are getting involved. But that's it. herO powers through in an absolute bloodbath of a game. As we seesawed back and forth, herO with some of the least efficient fights I've ever seen. But Dark just so far off balance that eventually he gets tilted over. Wow. Par for the course with these two. I do feel they're both trying to out-mind game each. Either they care not at all, or they're both thinking way too hard. I don't think there's a middle ground. Like, what was that attack, herO? It felt like he just literally A-moved and left his keyboard when he walked. Oh my god. Jimmy. We can't even talk about that because Dark is expanding to the wrong side of the gold. I say wrong side, but... So herO... Oh my god, this mind game is absolutely madness. Okay, I need to talk... Oh my. So herO scouted to see if the mineral wall was taken. Okay, so I'm going with they're both overthinking each other way too hard. Because of exactly this. herO scouted to see if the mineral wall was mined, which would indicate that Dark had mined through it and is now taking the gold. So Dark, he expanded to the gold on the other side. So now herO will scout it, but late, right? Like he's gonna see it. Yes. Okay, I don't know if that's like normally scouted. Let's go to the herO cam. Now he's coming back. He's like, whoa, 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 what? Ah, that's a hatchery. Yeah, I've seen one of those before. Not in that spot. Yeah, the drones are transferring down. This is awkward. Nope. Nope. Those are just normal drones. Like, sometimes I have to try very hard to remember what the score is in these series. Because even when certain players win games, it doesn't necessarily feel like it. Like, it felt like herO lost that last game 3 times, but he did win. And this very well could be a quick 2-0 because I'm not sure how you defend this against just adepts. I mean, I guess how you defend any others, but that's even more vulnerable. It looks like herO is gonna try some sort of, like, warp prism or immort. He's not building a Stargate. That's what, you know what the point is? He's not building a Stargate. And that is weird in and of itself. But the fact he's not building a Stargate or a Twilight, which narrows it down to pretty much cannons or Robo. The Robo is certainly the most rare choice. And almost 100% chance of something weird coming out of it. I think he's gonna... But the rocks were taken down here. So there's a set of rocks that is intentional, so it's walled off early on, and you have to go through the mineral wall with all those mind games we had. You know what? I feel like some Pepe Sylvia situation here. Like if you scout for the mineral wall, then you can scout if he's expanded without actually seeing if he expanded. But then you go into the main and he doesn't have a gas. And why doesn't he have a gas? Go back, scout, and the hatchery's right there. So that means he has a hatchery. But if he has a hatchery on the other side, then you can get the warp prism out. If you get the warp prism, you go on the other side of the wall. But he did actually take down the obvious... Wow, this looks terrible. I mean, what is... Looks like campaign where we're just going to mine whatever minerals are around. So he's going to juggle adepts. I don't even know if this is better than like a normal base, because those drones are, you know, taking the scenic route around. Because they can't actually mine from that side. They have to go through the rock area. But apparently they're... I don't know if they can't... I think this is a wall here. You can only actually mine like 2 mineral patches. Oh, but they're mining over here. You know what? Moving on. Adepts. On the way. Yeah. Gravitic drive. So he's going prism speed because that'll make it weird. Shades through, picks up with the prism. The old alley-oop adept play, as nobody calls it. Recalls the prism, but would it have taken too long to fly? He's gonna recall the prism, and then wait for the second rupture. I guess he didn't want to take the risk that Dark scouts it. No, it felt like a good idea at the time is what I think this falls under. But anyways. All right. So, the Ruptors exist. Dark kind of micros and manages to lose like about as many drones as I think he could there without actually just clicking them all into a ball. So 7 drones killed, which is a lot better than you'd expect at this level from a Ruptor drop. They're usually quite underwhelming. Mostly used to kind of dictate the pace of the game, or generally create highlight reel clips and then lose. But we will see. Because the sheer investment just to get to this point, just to get to Speed Prism and Disruptors, is quite significant. So, he may have killed some drones here. He's taking a bit. There's a Colossus. Just always interested to see what variety pack of units is going to be on the field. Disruptor, looks like one hit the Queen. Managed to dodge the other one somehow. We did miss that. Sorry. Ruptor drop still sharking around. It would be nice to have those at home, because here comes the attack. There's another Ruptor. The Colossus will be targeted. herO fires off a volley, gets 8 kills, but the entire army is surrounded. He's gonna lose his whole army here. And now you fly back? Recall is off cooldown. The Disruptor, well, looks like Dark is gonna go heck and kill him right now. Where did that prism go? Oh, there it is. Dark is very aware, fires off a shot, scampers away with the roach speed. Another shot. It's a couple. There's another. Oh, wait, there's more. Well, there's another shot in there, but it's kind of on the wrong side. Wait, is it? Well, the roaches are inside the house. The other disruptors aren't quite off cooldown yet. That one is. He juggles it. He's trying to get a shot. Well, there it is. And, well, Dark only has 39 drones behind this, so if herO does manage to stabilize without shooting himself in the literal face, then that would be good. It does seem like Dark is just going to continue building units. Why not? It's working. The wall has been torn down. He just, you know, he Dick Cheney'd it a bit there. So far, herO has killed 3 probes. Dark has gotten 12. Huh. I think he's dead. But he's still got a double barrel of Ruptors, so... And 2 Gs in the tank. Dark will take this one. Though I feel like we all lost. More than anything. So, the mind game gold into Ruptor drop, into just Roach... Or, you know what? Moving on. We're going to game 3. It's all tied up. These two... Game 3, coming up. Just... Source, just trust me, bro. I don't know. Oceanborn. Said dramatically because it gets people excited. Gets the people going. herO. Gonna flirt with the minerals. Dark. Not impressed. The drones will convince the minerals to, The minerals have a mind of their own, alright? Whatever worker comes by and says, hey, I want a piece of you, well, then they'll tell other workers, hey, I'm taking. That's pretty much all of what's happening here. And if you do it perfectly, you can deny dozens of minerals from your opponent because the workers will bounce off, and now you see them dueling here. So, on a scale of 1 to all the things you should not be doing in your own games, this is pretty high up on the list. But it can become somewhat annoying if they do it perfectly. As you see him kind of like stuttering that mineral drill thing. Yeah. Very minor to mild inconvenience. I would put mild above minor inconvenience. Like, about 1/3 of the way between minor and moderate is mild. I have spoken. Stargate. Snap back to reality. What a revelation. herO, I don't know. I think that was another example of thinking too hard. Except this time it definitely backfired for herO. Quite literally by the time the disruptors got through. But I feel like a Stargate would have been just fine at dealing with that early gold play. But herO clearly had something fancy up his sleeve. And unfortunately it took so long to take it out of his sleeve that Roaches and Zerglings were in his base by the time he really found any real damage. Adept is just... Oh, the Adept shades towards the main mineral line that hits the drones at the 3rd from the main. Next level. Literally. And will escape, assuming he doesn't turn around, before Zergling speed. Well before. There's a Zergling in the base. He killed a probe. Yep, that Zergling got a probe. Oracle, come to give high ground vision, but the Zerglings gonna make... Oh my god. He's boxing out the Stalker! No! Stop! Stop right there! He's gonna get it. Okay, he got it, he got it. Well, the drama continues, but the Adepts on the other side. The Zergling's gonna keep tight to him. Severely, think about it. Oracle's on the way. There's going to be treacles. Maybe more. Actually, heroes had a tendency to just keep building them. They burn through. Gonna get that larva. Not nearly as effective against the eggs, which have way more HP. They also have more armor, but the oracles don't care about that. The Adept shade in. The You might be wondering, what was herO trying to accomplish with those adepts shading in? Like, is that a good idea? And the answer is no. That was terrible. He killed like 2 drones and lost the adepts. And now Dark can build 14 drones because the only threat are the oracles. So herO traded the anything keeping him at bay in order to kill like 2 drones. Here we're gonna go with the oracles to do the same thing. This is in my herO. Feels like the walls are getting worse. Like, I guess he's protected the pylon. It just looks so dumb. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't mean to wall shame here, but I'm 1/3 Terran myself, so I'm not allowed to wall shame technically, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So I'm not gonna let people tell me just because I play Terran sometimes I can't. Not moving on. Not important. What is this? What is that? What is it? What is going on here? It's gonna funnel the Zerglings. Oh, we'll see. Or they're just gonna get in right at the edge because the Stalker is like hanging on by a thread there. How many oracles? He's got 5. He just keeps building oracles. Just moracles and moracles. Lair and Roach Warren on the way. Actually, a bit late on both those. The Queens, though, politely yet firmly ask the oracles to leave. Who knows if herO will listen to them. Throwing out their little knitting needles there. And, well, he's kind of cornered. We'll spot the Roach Warren. Oh, that's a Hydra down. Roach Warren's already done. Just to give him the once around here. Dark is up to 68 drones. herO is taking a 4th base. And he's got 60 probes. So he's doing pretty well himself. Oh, the Oracle's found the 4th. And we'll burn it up. We're down. Doesn't really matter which direction. It's gone now. Get a few more kills. Attempted a stasis in the main. Didn't pan out. Hydra's on the way. So herO is going to follow up with a blank timing, designed to keep the Roachling count down, but it's just straight up Hydras from Dark, which you build up a dozen or so, and you can turn that into a straight up attack if they don't have any splash damage. So we'll see if herO is able to keep Dark under control, or if he overextends here. Honestly, it could be both. Dark losing a lot of overlords to the casual stalkers. And it's actually going to supply block him a bit. 36, I don't know. He's only building 1. I'm building a few more now. What is this? What is that? herO? He's like building a backup wall because he knows. He knows how bad it is. He's trying not to draw attention to it. Which, you can't just lift up your gateways and plop them on down anywhere, alright? Or even repair them. Fourth base. So the infestation pit and therefore hive tech a bit on the later side of things. If Dark wants to go towards lurkers. But he's been kind of grappling with this heavier oracle composition. A lot of blink stalkers with stasis there. And I think we're going to see a lurker down in a hive immediately. There's the hive. See if the lunkers are on the way. Oh my god, the oracles are still making progress here. And we'll... Oh, what a save. Okay. Somehow, all of the oracles survive, and they join up with their friend who's been chilling in the back corner. To all recall to... They didn't forget about him! Alright, they left him at the gas station so we could hang out with the cool dudes outside. And then they came back 3 minutes later, and they're like, we totally didn't forget you, let's recall home. Alright. Well, those dudes at the gas station warned me about stalkers. Shh. Shh. Stalkers are on our side. So, quite a theory crafting army out of herO here, who has Blink Stalker, Colossus, Oracle, which on paper, these are all great. But they are 3 of the most fragile units if they don't get the perfect engagement. So I am a bit concerned at the glass cannon nature of everything herO has here. We'll see if Dark shares my concerns and exploits them. As here come the Hydras, the Stasis doesn't find much, the Colossi, the Immortal's dead, the Colossi crumble. It's an absolute disaster. Who could have seen this coming? Dark is still maxed out. He didn't even need lurkers for this. herO biting off way more than he could chew. And I'm not even gonna make a Protoss mouth joke, because it was not gonna work. herO, where are you going? Oh my. I guess he still has a recall because his units died too fast to even pretend to do so. Just go do your sad, cowardly recall in the corner and move on. Nope. Okay, well, now it's too late. The Oracles, what are you doing? It's a disaster. Oh my god. And the star, oh my. I would say it's a series of unfortunate events. Oh my god. But that would imply it was just a random act of God, or at least Dark here. But no, herO walked right into a concave against an army that he was not particularly capable of beating. And he did not walk out. Which is, you know, not surprising, but certainly somewhat oh, well. Ah, yes, but I made a backup wall, and now there are storms! Immortals, you know, that wall funnel, doing pretty well. The storms start off really strong, and there's so many Immortals. He yanks them into the lurkers and his own storms. Well, Dark tries to go up the ramp, but herO's multi-tiered wall-off impression does quite well. Dark now gonna do a reinforcing Nidus. Which, he does have... herO has 80 probes to 73 drones. A few more lurkers. I feel like he did that... Oh my... He's consuming the Nidus! Which isn't really worth it, because the Nidus really doesn't have that much HP. So, but... the idea is hilarious. I've never thought of that, and it's definitely not worth it. I'd rather just build spores and walk them across the map, like a laptop in 1998. Technically portable. Well, the lurkers rotate around. Nidus is kind of in the way of everything. The Immortal's in range, but the feedbacks land only gets one abduct. The lurkers are still slicing through the army to the south. Dark has already refilled up the 200 supply. The Hydras are cutting through. herO maintaining a surprisingly high supply for how disastrous these fights look. But more storms, the lurkers starting to evaporate. But it's taken a while. The Oracles could come in. More Zerglings. A Nidus just pops up in the middle of everything, because of course it does. More Hydras on the way. The lurkers survive, and the probes are like, oh my god, really? He has to recall the probes out. Not all of them. And that's a bit of an ambitious base to recall them to, but he's running out of options. Another Nidus. Dark just following it up. Oh my. The Queens! We've arrived! Revenge! Yes, Brenda, you can have your revenge. Well, it's an absolute disaster. Dark's gonna take this one. I don't think he can slip and fall his way out of this. No matter how dramatic herO gets. There goes the Robo Bay. But definitely... I feel like herO lost 3 games in this 2-1 victory for Dark. Dark definitely going a little sideways with his builds, up and under with the Nidus. This game a bit closer to standard, but still. Well, it ends. And this time around, it heads towards Dark. GG. Wow. Of all the series I've ever cast, that is certainly one of them. Again, Dark versus herO. I don't know if it... I would say it never disappoints. I am disappointed, but I also enjoyed it. So it's like watching a reality show. I did say marriage counseling, which implies something not ideal. Well, moving on. I hope I made your day just a little bit better. And if you got the means and motivation, Be awesome to check out Patreon. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free for now. And you can check out the second channel for more streams, gameplay, other games even. I hear they exist. But otherwise, and check out recommended autoplay. You guys have been amazing. And yeah, it's over. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.